Attention all passengers in the lobby area. This train will be departing shortly for DX Central Line. Please be sure to have your boarding ticket ready. Additionally, it is recommended that you have your AM or FM radio on your person at all times while the train is in motion, as this will allow you to report receptions during the voyage. If you have not yet done so, it is recommended that you subscribe to this channel so you will be notified when new videos are available, including future voyages of DX Central Line. Thank you for travelling with us, and we hope you enjoy our journey on DX Central Line. Attention all passengers in the lobby area. This train will be departing shortly for DX Central Line. Please be sure to have your boarding ticket ready. Additionally, it is recommended that you have your AM or FM radio on your person at all times while the train is in motion, as this will allow you to report receptions during the voyage. If you have not yet done so, it is recommended that you subscribe to this channel so you will be notified when new videos are available, including future voyages of DX Central Line. Thank you for travelling with us, and we hope you enjoy our journey on DX Central Line.
And oh my days, did you miss us? We certainly missed you lot. 3 weeks is a lifetime in the world of DX, but we are back, we are refreshed and properly ready to roll for a Friday night. For anyone new to the stream, welcome to the madness. You lot have picked the perfect night to join the family. A bit of a restart, if you will. The shack is open and the party is officially underway. Our first track is right where I want to be, drifting down the dial.
Drifting down the dial, going mile after mile. I ain't got nowhere to be, just the atmosphere and me. Yeah, drifting down the dial, stay for a while.
we were away. From the looks of the logs, the ionosphere has been a bit mediocre out there, hasn't it? Both AM and FM bands have been acting like they're on a holiday too. A little tropo here and there for some folks, but nothing to write home about. I mean, what happened to all that solar storm hoopla we were promised? It's like the sun went on a tea break and forgot to come back. This next track kind of feels like where we have been for a few weeks, in the Knolls.
It falls between the wires, a mathematically perfect hole. You scream into the void, you lose control. The pattern has a flaw, a blind spot in the eye. I know you're out there beneath the sky. Can you hear me? The silence is loud, like a rap, like a shroud in the nose, where the physics fail. A ghost ship without a sail. I turn the beam, but I always miss. Trapped in the static of the abyss. The math says you are gone. Zero voltage on the line, but I feel the pressure of your design. A shadow on the scope, a ripple in the stream. Waking up slowly from a digital dream. In the nose, where the physics fail. A ghost ship without a sail. I turn the beam, but I always miss. Trapped in the static of the abyss.
I just have to know. What did you lot think of the mixtape episodes? I think Lloyd had a bit too much fun producing those, but they were cracking, weren't they? Patrons, keep an eye out because Volume 1 should be ready for download very soon. I know some of you have been getting in some good DX these past 3 weeks and we want to hear about it. Get those shout-outs in at dxchallenges.com/shoutout. Tell us if you found anything interesting in the static while we were gone. For our next track, we are going to be doing something a little different than our usual fare. Lloyd thought it might be a good idea, and I actually agree with him on this bit, if we were to broaden our musical horizons a bit and embrace some internationally flavoured tracks. This first one in that series gives us a little Cambodian surf rock in a song called The Spider's Wire, Sam Leng Bong. And let me tell you, the After Dark remixes of this track are absolute bangers. You will want to make sure you tune in after 9 p.m. tonight at thisisprobablyxradio.com to check them out. Let's take a trip, shall we?
Round and round, Sam Leng Bong is the only sound. It pulls me in like gravity. Look on the frequency. Caught in the spider's wire, burning with radio found me now. I cannot tune away. I have to stay 1,000 miles of static glaze holding me in this lonely place. Is it a warning or a lullaby? In the electric sky, caught in the spider's wire, burning with radio fire. Only now I cannot tune away. I have to stay 1,000 miles of static glaze holding me in this lonely place. Sam Leng Bong. I spin the dial. I spin the wraps
Now, all was not lost during our time away. Lloyd has been a busy bee. He's got a brand new FMDX web server up and running around the corner at Shortwave Central, paired with a homemade Omni antenna mounted at, now get this, 65 feet up in the air. And he says if you want Golf Troppo, you're going to get Troppo. We're getting a full demo of that shiny new server later tonight, so don't you dare wander off. Our next song has us feeling a certain kind of way around the DX Radio studios this past week since Lloyd dropped it on us. This one is called Crossphased and Aimless.
I turn the dial to the right. The signals are stacking up in the middle of the night. Propagation is open, the gate is swinging wide. I cannot separate them, there is nowhere to hide. Cross-faced and nameless, collision on the air. Cross-faced and nameless, signals everywhere. The carrier is wobbling, the audio is hot. I'm trying to filter it, but the filter has rocked. Facts are simple, facts are straight, but this transmission is arriving late. One from the ocean, one from the land, fighting for position inside of the band. Stop it. You're talking over him. Focus the energy. Tighten the beam width. Reject the side lobes. Reject them! Cross-faced and nameless. Collision on the air. Cross-faced and nameless. Signals everywhere. The carrier is wobbling. The audio wall is hot. I'm trying to filter it, but the filter has rocked. Still waiting. Still listening.
We're nearly there, and looking through the glass, I see Mark Monroe is back in his seat. He looks remarkably unchanged by the 3-week break, not a hair out of place. I mean, you would think someone experiencing their first Mardi Gras might find themselves even just a tad bit dishevelled, but not our Mark. He's just a vision of consistency, already checking his stopwatch. I'll hand you over to the man with the plan in just a bit, as he's got the countdown and all the serious bits. But first, we pick back up on our international flavoured music with a trip to Deutschland. This is called Die Welle Mensch Machine.
Ich bin der Sender. Du bist der Empfänger. Wir sind verbunden. Für viele Stunden. Mensch-Maschinen-Interface. Mensch-Maschinen-Interface. Sendempfang.
That's me done for the night here in Studio B. But before I go, let's thank the clubs that keep this community thriving. Huge thanks to the International Radio Club of America at ircaonline.org, the National Radio Club at nationalradioclub.org, and our favourite DX magazine, the Spectrum Monitor at thespectrummonitor.com. Check all three out and help support those helping to support DX Central Live. And to our brilliant patrons hanging in Studio C, thank you for sticking with us during the break. You can join them for early access to videos, podcasts, and our upcoming patron-only Zoom call on using the Google Suite for DX logbooks by heading to patreon.com/DXCentral. If you haven't done so yet, there is still plenty of time to get in your shout-outs over at dxchallenges.com/shoutout. While you are there, make sure you are registered, because tonight Lloyd is dropping a new challenge and you need to be registered to be part of the fun. All right, stay right where you are. Here is everyone's favourite man of the hour, Mark Monroe, to take us all the way up to showtime in Studio A. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers, loves.
Thank you as always, Rachel. And yes, the 3-week hiatus was productive and Mardi Gras was good fun. But I find the return to a strict schedule much more comforting. Good evening. I am Mark Monroe and this is the countdown. The 10-minute countdown to DX Central Live is officially active, and when we hit 0, we head to Studio A with our host, Lloyd Van Horn. But first, we bring you another internationally flavoured track with a bit of African pop called The Great QRM.
Everybody say,
yeah.
The noise is coming.
I turn on the machine, I look at the screen. The city is louder. Too many people in the cloud. The light bulb buzz, the power line hum. We beat the drum, but the signal won't come. QRM. Blocking the view. QRM. What can we do? QRM. Blocking the view. QRM. The noise is you. They plug it in, they turn it on. The silence is gone. Cheap electricity filling the air. Interference everywhere. We got to fight for the right to hear the night. Blocking the view. What can we do? Blocking the view. The noise is you.
Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop. Make it stop, make it stop, make it stop, make it stop.
As Rachel mentioned, the recent solar activity failed to live up to the, shall we say, exuberant forecasts. Conditions remain stubbornly average. However, an average band is simply an opportunity for making those tweaks to your setup to get new ones in the log. If you have managed to do so, make sure you let us know what you've been hearing by submitting our shout-out submission form over at dxchallenges.com/shoutout. While you are there, make sure you are registered on the site, as we have a brand new challenge to announce tonight. Preparation is the enemy of failure, my friends. Time for probably my favourite of Lloyd's international tracks, and I think this might be his favourite as well. This is actually a remix, but it is so good. The song is called La Danza del Dial, and this is the monumental mix. If you've ever spent any time listening to Ecuador's Radio Monumental on 1510, this should feel very familiar to you.
Enciende en la oscuridad, una guitarra suena con electricidad, viene de la selva, viene del calor, trae un mensaje de mucho color, baila la onda, baila el dial, es la cumbia espacial, sube la antena, baja el temor, siente el ritmo del Ecuador. Los electrones bailan al ritmo del tambor, cruzando los ríos sin ningún motor. Es la chicha nueva, es la vibración que conecta al mundo en una canción. Baila la onda, baila el dial, es la cumbia espacial. Sube la antena, baja el temor, siente el ritmo del Ecuador.
For our supporters, we will soon be scheduling our first patron-only live stream to discuss using the Google Suite for digital logbooks, a highly requested and very practical working session for the modern DX era. We are now just a few minutes from airtime. The momentum is shifting, the server is primed, the new microphone is getting a quick check, 1, 2, and we are closing out our set here on the countdown with a rocking good romper that feels right at home in the northern bit of the UK, round Rachel's way. This one is called Antenna Star.
Try to block me with your little rig, but you want big.
nice as always. Grab your logs and prepare for the return of DX Central Live. We head now to Studio A, where Lloyd is refreshed, ready and standing by, right after a word from our sponsors.
DX Central Live is brought to you in part by...
From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum Monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum Monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com. For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for U.S. and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. The International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and Groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central From the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
It's time for another solar weather on the 8s. We have our finger on the pulse of the sun, if we can just find it. Your local forecast. Taking a look at your local conditions, we're seeing a persistent high-pressure system of absolutely nothing moving in from the equator. If you were looking for that promised solar storm, you'll find it currently located in the what might have been clearance rack. Expect scattered clouds of meh to linger throughout the evening and right through the weekend, with a 0% chance of an X-class flare actually doing its job. Our propagation outlook. For our AMDXers, the outlook is predictably average. Gray line enhancement is currently your best hope for something to nibble on because otherwise the ionosphere is on a coffee break, and I don't expect it to return until it feels like it. On the FM dial, we're just kidding. It's almost March. The FM band hasn't returned from its vacation down to Australia yet. Even when it does, the jet lag is going to be pretty rough. That's your look at our solar weather on the 8s. Hey, I have an idea. Did anyone try hitting the sun on its side to see if that does anything? That worked for my TV when I was a kid, until I swung a little too hard with my arm and knocked it off the TV tray it was sitting on. Do you know how many yards you had to mow in 1986 to replace a television? I still have calluses.
It's a Friday night, Lloyd in the North Shore, setting frequencies right. AM and FM, the airwaves collide. DX Central Live, where the signals can't hide. Tuning in the static, chasing down the sounds. Every single signal is magic we have found. All radios hum, the chatters all agree. DX Central Live is the place to be. Folks in the chat, shout out your call. From east to west, we're breaking down the walls. It's the magic of the night, where frequencies fly. Join us now on DX Central Live.
From the Gulf South
To your corner of the world.
this is DX Central Live.
Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live, my friends. Good evening and welcome yet again. We are back in front of the camera after a little bit of a break. We bring you Season 6, Episode 20 here in Studio A of the North Shore Studios in Mandeville. My first episode of the new microphone. You like it? You can't really see it very well. The lighting kind of sucks for that because it's a black mic and it's kind of shadowed. Maybe... Camera. Yeah, that camera's got it. That camera had it. I've always wanted one of these SM7Bs. I finally got one. So we have a nice, full sounding audio coming. Not to fix camera B, it's a little meh tonight. Let's see, what have we been doing since last time we saw you guys and we were all together? Well, I'll tell you one thing I haven't been able to do is have much time for DX. We haven't done a whole lot of that. Been a little bit here and there, maybe a couple of little nights where it's like, ooh, maybe some Latins around, but not a whole lot of time. A couple of little Tropo openings on the Gulf Coast, but nothing too spectacular. But I know some of you guys have been getting some stuff, so we got some really great shout-outs to get to tonight. I got a special one for our friend Stephanie out in California for persistent determination to get a particular U.S. state in the logbook. And now that that has happened, be prepared, Stephanie. You're going to have that particular state coming out of the woodwork. That's how this works. You're going to hear them nonstop now. And speaking of that, we actually have a new challenge that we'll be announcing tonight that might help with that a little bit, so we'll talk about that. I launched, one thing I did do during the break is I launched a new third FMDX web server here for Mandeville. So we have 3 now. And this one, my friends, it seems like we always have here at the North Shore Studios location, here at the house, we have really good antennas. We have a 35-foot vertical. We've got some CASs. We've got, our log periodic. We've got some nice antennas. But when we put up an antenna around the corner over at Shortwave Central, that is the one, right? So we've got the big CAS on the Kiwi over there that faces down to Latin America. The thing is unbelievable. It creates its own openings. Sometimes it hears things that none of my other antennas, including those facing down southeast or south, none of those hear what that antenna hears. Well, we've done it again on the FM side. I have taken the trombone slide folded dipole from a 4-element Stellar Labs Yagi antenna, taken that off of the Yagi, and we put a channel master balun on it, and we fed some feed lines, some RG6 quad shield to it. And we've put it in the vertical orientation. So instead of the horizontal like it is on the Yagi, we flipped it vertical. And that vertical orientation gives you a true omnidirectional antenna pattern. So it's truly omnidirectional. Some of the other ones have little cardioid patterns and things like that they don't tell you about. This one is truly omnidirectional. And we took our PVC air cannon and shot up a fishing weight to the top of a tree, a big tall pine tree in the backyard around the corner at Shortwave Central, and we've now mounted that FM antenna, that omnidirectional FM antenna, at 65 feet in the air. And now we have a web server attached to that antenna. We put a KITS KT501 LNA on there so we can level set the noise floor and get a nice, good, even experience across the band. And I've been doing some testing on it, and it is phenomenal. During Gulf Tropo this year, ooh, it's going to be a beast. So we'll take a look at that new web server tonight, and I'm also going to talk through, if you're interested in starting your own FMDX web server, what it takes, because it's actually not that bad. I remember when I first did my first couple ones, it felt like it took forever. This one I had it up and running in a day or so. This one's not too hard. Now, I'm also doing, from that same antenna, we have a splitter from that antenna that's going into another TEF radio that we're trying to get connected for an autologger, an RDS autologger. So you can see the autologger map of what that same antenna is hearing and then go try to hear it on the web server. So if you see it on the map, you should hear it on the radio. But unfortunately, we've had some difficulty getting that to connect to Wi-Fi. And there's a couple different reasons I think that might be happening. So we continue work on that. But we will show you tonight the new online Shortwave Central FMDX web server, because, man, it is a beast of a performer. Can't wait to show you all. Again, we have a new challenge to get to tonight. We got a ton of shout-outs to get to as well. So I don't think we have a whole lot of other stuff to talk about other than those. Actually, I do have one other thing I want to talk about. If you hate F connectors as much as I do, and, I hate them because I have to, whenever we have thunderstorms around here, I have to unplug all of my FM antennas that I have, little pass-throughs coming through our window, right? Little pass-through cables. I have to disconnect all those when there's a thunderstorm. It brings all our web servers down and stuff like that. I hate doing that. I hate unscrewing and trying to get it back on, because you sometimes can't get it lined up, get it to connect. You sit there and you thread, and then it's still not connected. I found an adapter that fixes all of that. So I'll show that to you guys tonight. That'll be an hour or two. So if you hate F connectors as much as I do, stick around, because I've got your solution. All right, let's do a little look around the bands as we do here at DX Central Live. Now, this first iteration of our DX session. It's brought to you by the International Radio Club of America, IRCA Online, and we're going right to it, at the top of the hour, right off the top of the bat.
DX Central Live, top of the hour alert.
All right, top of the hour means we're looking for IDs, and we didn't have a challenge last week, so there's not like a specific frequency range or something we're hunting. So we're just going to go check the conditions, as we like to do here sometimes, and see how things look. So let's start on the AM side of things, and let's just see if we have Ecuador coming in. This will tell us a lot. I can do you better than that, Mike. Better than F to B and C. Because this is one of those where the pass-through is an F, the cable's an F. So LAC is on top there, and I hear a station that's probably Monumental underneath. I hear it in my left ear. But there's somebody else in there, too, that I bet you is Guatemala, because they've been really loud lately. Sean says I have very manly audio. Well, I did get the microphone that has the testosterone boost. Jacob knows what I'm up to here on those connectors. Jacob's got the line. All right, that piano sounds kind of like a religious music. Bet you that's Guatemala. Let's go check. The other melody in there, the kind of the flute sound, that's Ecuador. So here's Guatemala, Radio Centroamericano. That's our religious station with the piano music. That is Guatemala for sure. Now let's go back and see if we can match up Monumental.
Para tu querido. Caldo de gallina para tu querido. Caldo de gallina. En banco de penco para tu marido.
That's them. That's Monumental. So we've got Ecuador and Guatemala here on the Shortwave Central Kiwi. Hey, mamacita! I'm telling you, man, that FMDX web server is going to be... It's going to do for Gulf Tropo what this Kiwi right here has done for Latin American DX. Unbelievable. We have good stuff here at North Shore Studios, but the legendary antennas are all over at Shortwave Central. That's where the big stuff is. Robert, I can show you tonight how easy it is to get one of those up and running. One thing I do want to comment on here, this came up while I was on my hiatus. 910. I wonder if they're back. There was the LAC over there, Mike, and then the Guatemalan and the Ecuadorian. There's a reason why I'm hanging out here on 910.
That's them. Okay. All right. The reason that I was holding out there, you guys who have been following here on the stream know that whenever I check conditions, we usually start off on 1510, looking for Ecuador, because that tells me how deep conditions are pushing into. And then I also look for 910 for San Andres y Providencia. Well, during our hiatus, San Andres was showing up on medium wave list as closed, like no longer there. And I have not heard them in weeks. And in their place, Radio Suyapa is there out of Honduras, HRVS. That's who that was we were just listening to. It sounds very commercial. It sounds very like I expected that to be San Andres. I was like, oh, maybe they're back. That's why I was checking. But I heard the Suyapa several times in there. That is Radio Suyapa. So, very, very interesting. San Andres y Providencia, which counted as its own country from Colombia, separate country in DX terms, gone off of 910. So that's one that might not be there anymore. We'll see if they ever come back, but for right now, they're off the air. So that's a country opportunity that is now gone, unfortunately, for some folks. So I'll let you know if I see anything different, if that comes back or not. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, I've got oodles and oodles of shout-outs to get to. So we're going to get to those, and we're going to get to some more DX later on. We got a new challenge coming up this hour. But first, in between the shout-outs and everything, we're going to look at our FM DX web server, our new Shortwave Central DX web server that we just put up this last week, and how great it is and how you can get one of your very own. So don't go anywhere, my friends. More DX Central Live is heading your way right after this.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by
The International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum Monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum Monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com. For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for U.S. and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central from the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
Static crackles in the night. Tuning dials feel so right. Frequencies dance in the air. Who's out there? Who's out there? All the cool kids, yaks and AM, skipping waves and chasing mayhem. Spin that knob, hear the world sing. Cool kids know the joy it brings. Signal fades and comes in strong. Voices travel all night long. Mystery stations far and wide. Jump on board, let's take the ride. Whispering through the static hum. Where's it from? Where's it from? All the cool kids, yaks and AM, skipping waves and chasing mayhem. Spin that knob, hear the world sing. Cool kids know the joy it brings.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
Cuba calls or London's ring. Secrets rag.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Manville, Louisiana.
Lost in static wild game.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Oh, yeah. All the cool kids, DX AM, and all the cool kids are right here on DX Central Live every Friday night. Now, we've got one more week of our show starting at 0045 UTC. Now, on March, 2 weeks. We have 2 more weeks of that because in 2 weeks, we'll be on the weekend where we actually enter daylight savings. So for the next 2 weeks, DX Central Live will start at 0045 UTC, which is the same as 1845 Central Standard Time. But in daylight savings, 2345 UTC is 1845 Central. We keep the Central Time the same. We just changed the UTC. So we had to change one of them, and the UTC is the easiest one to do because 645 actually was a perfect time for me. So we'll be changing UTC time to 2345 UTC, but it's still 645, 1845 Central Time once we get to daylight savings, which is March 8th, by the way. It's 2 weeks away. We added, we spring forward. Can you believe that? Unbelievable. My friends, you know what time it is.
Shout out loud, hear the call for every signal, big or small, from AM to FM, from C to C. We celebrate the ones who slag the IT. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
All right, now we did some shout-outs on our DX Radio crossover stuff that we did while we were on our break. So we did some shout-outs on those live streams, and actually forgot to hit the stream before I left for one of the parades of the second week that we were off, the middle week, when we did Intern Gary's mix, that mixtape Volume 2. I streamed that one last week after we did Volume 3, which was our Mardi Gras mix, like our New Orleans mix, right? So we did Volume 3, and then right after that, we loaded up Volume 2, and we did both back to back. So all those shout-outs that came in during that time frame, we read those on those on those DX Central Live, DX Radio crossovers, which I hope you guys enjoyed. Those were fun to put together. Those were a lot of fun. It got me a chance to get back into my old radio days, which I love that because I do miss the work. I don't miss the pay, but I miss the work. I miss the work that I used to do when I was in radio, doing production work. And that's part of what DX Central actually lets me do is get back in touch with some of that. So thank you guys for entertaining my desire to get back in touch with my radio days. We are doing shout-outs here, and dxchallenges.com/shoutout. That's where you go if you want to submit yours. Just go fill out the form, send those in. There's still plenty of time if you want to get one in. If you haven't sent one in already, not a problem. Plenty of time to do so. We're going to do a couple, we're going to do some shout-outs now, and then we'll do round two in the next hour when we get into there. Right now, we're at 9 total shout-outs. So we've got some good stuff coming in here so far. Starting with our friend John Johnson out in Arizona, who likes to watch the show on the replay. Hey, John. Only one new logging to report. 1180 XEFR in Mexico City surfaced atop the frequency with a nice ID and mention of Radio Felicidad and Los Mejores Momentos slogans. This is my 118th Mexican station logged. Let me go ahead and do the log saw for our friend John Johnson out in Arizona. Interesting note about this station. The other night, I was doing some checking while I was working on some other stuff, and 1180. You guys know here, especially in the southeastern United States, but for a good chunk of the U.S., including I heard them in Southern California, rather. I heard the station in Southern California is usually the home of Rebeldi, okay? It's the Rebeldi wall. There's like 30 transmitters on the island, all trying to block out the propaganda from the evil United States when they have Radio Marti there in the Keys sending all that anti-Castro stuff over the years, right? So they were trying to block that signal from being heard on the island, and they were also trying to hit all of their expats that were in South Florida, so they were just pointing all these transmitters, like 30 transmitters on one frequency at South Florida. That's why if you're down on the Transworld Radio Bonaire Kiwi when it's up and running, and you go to 1180, you can't really hear Cuba. You can hear Radio Marti out of Marathon Key, but you can't really hear Rebeldi very well. It's in there, but it's kind of weak. That's because they're sending all their signal north, and Radio Marti is sending all their signal south, which is why we don't hear them very well here. Down in Mexico, our friend Mexico Mike J, he hears Radio Marti down in Mexico. All this is to say, on 1180, I recently did some checking the other night, and Rebeldis are not as much as they used to be. Now, this is a common topic amongst DXers right now. You'll see a lot of people on social media talking about it, in the Slack channel talking about it, that these Cubans are becoming harder and harder and harder to find, which... Okay, yes, it is, and there are still some outlets that are there, but there are fewer of them, and 1180 is among those. I was hearing stuff other than Rebeldi on 1180, and one of those that I'm hearing is this one that John just heard, XEFR in Mexico City. I've heard them here before, but I was hearing them in the mix along with some of the Rebeldi stuff. So I encourage you, if you've gone to 1180 and all you've ever really heard is Radio Rebeldi, if you're among the folks like myself who that's just kind of what you kind of live with, you may want to go start checking that out because 1180 is now a bit more open than it used to be. 670 was still very entrenched on Rebeldi, but 1180, yeah, not so much. Now, there are some Colombians. There's a Caracol Radio down in Colombia on that frequency on 1180. There is the station in Mexico we talked about. There is Radio Marti down in Marathon Key, which can be heard, especially if the Rebeldis aren't as strong. Maybe you have a better shot. And then there's a handful of stations down in Central America. But the big prize I'm shooting for is Baja California Sur. There's a station, XEUBS, down in Baja California Sur. They're about a 10 kilowatt station on 1180. That's the golden goose as far as I'm concerned, because it's one of the few opportunities that most of us are going to have to hear the Baja California South state out of Mexico if you're chasing Mexican states. So something definitely to try your hand at is 1180 if you've been kind of behind the Rebeldi wall. this is an opportunity for you. So good job, John, and congratulations on snagging 118 stations from Mexico. That's a really big accomplishment. Neil Kaz, our friend Kaz up in Illinois. Yes, that Kaz. From a couple weeks ago, before he went away for a week, he did a little traveling. 860 WGUL in Dunedin, Florida was on the list, as was 1400 WSPG in Spartanburg, South Carolina. WPJK in Orangeburg, South Carolina on 1580. A couple of South Carolina stations in there for him. WAB in Lakeland, Florida on 1330. XEPGBR, Guadalajara, Mexico on 1510, which is in there sometimes. They're not as easy to hear, but they are there. XEAM in Matamoros, Mexico, 1310. And 1290 KRGE in Westlake, Texas. He says, I've been chasing this one for years. And finally got Westlake there on 1290. So our friend Kaz starts off with a new Latin American station. And some new logs for our friend Kaz as well. For those who are in the chat, by the way, still needing Radio Marti on 1180 out of Marathon Key. If that Bonaire Kiwi is up and running, check that. That's got a good reception of them. And they have a very unique sound that they play that is unique to Radio Marti. I'll see if I can't dig it up. I got it somewhere stored that I heard. When I heard it, that's what I heard, and kind of matched it up with the Bonaire Kiwi. And our friend Mexico Mike J said, yep, that's who that is. That's the Radio Marti sound, the jingle, right? A lot of these Latin American stations have the sound, the little jingle that they play. Well, they have one as well. So congratulations, Kaz, my friend. Glad to see you in there, and hopefully you had safe travels. Everything went well. Jerry Hart up in New York is next up on the list, and he's got a handful of stations here, including some new stuff. Some stuff you guys are going to like. So let's start off with ZNS1 1540 out of Nassau. Now there are two stations out of Bahamas, 810 and 1540. 810 is kind of the more widely reported, even though they're the weaker of the two as far as transmitter power. But 1540 is now I'm starting to see more and more people kind of getting them in the logbook. So well done to our friend Jerry with Bahamas and Nassau, ZNS1 getting in there. WWMI 1380 in St. Petersburg, Florida, St. Petersburg. Greenville, South Carolina, 660 WESC in there towards the end of January. WCHS 580 in West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia, got them in there. KOZN 1620, that's Bellevue, Nebraska. With sports talk there on 1620. Actually, a tricky station to hear, especially here. 1380 WMLP out of Milton, Pennsylvania. CHRN 1610 Quebec, Montreal, Quebec. And 1140 Sydney, Nova Scotia, CBI. That's a big one. As a matter of fact, let me go back to that St. Petersburg log. That was a new state for our friend Jerry Hart. So we shoot some fireworks off. Firewalk. New state for our friend Jerry, with Florida making its way to New York. And, my friends, all rise. Is that log of CBI in Nova Scotia? It's time. Verda! That's right. We have a moose sighting our first week back. Our first week back after a 3-week hiatus, and the moose is loose. Well done, Jerry, my friend. Congratulations on a new state in Florida, new Canadian province, Nova Scotia, one that I have no earthly dreams of ever being able to hear that from here. Maybe it'll happen one day. Who knows? Probably on FM it could be likely, but not on AM. So, well done, my friend. Congratulations. Let's do a couple more here. We're going to start here with Dan Massey. Dan, over the last 6 weeks, says, I have installed a 4-bog system. This is Dan in Texas. A 4-bog system here in Comfort, Texas. It's switchable between 50 degrees, 140 degrees, 230 degrees, and 320 degrees. Now, that's a pretty nice bit of coverage. Based on the reversible BeviFlex, or RevFlex, one pair is 325 feet long. The other is 350 feet long. So those are some nice sized bogs, right? I hooked it up for the first time on February the 9th, and I kid you not, within 20 minutes, I logged a new country. 1510 Radio Centroamericano, Ciudad de Guatemala, 1,194 miles. I am totally thrilled. All this work has paid off. The directionality and reach far exceeds my W6LVP. On some frequencies where I only had 3 logs, I'm now hearing 7 stations simultaneously. I've been making multiple new logs every night since installing the antennas. Man, I tell you what, there are few things in this world that will make a DXer feel more pure joy than when you put the work in and you do the effort to and make a new antenna or install a new antenna or whatever. You know, maybe you built the balun, you stretched out the wire, you made the variable resistor for your termination on the backside of the CAS antenna. Whatever it is, you put forth the effort. You didn't go out and just buy an antenna, right? You didn't just go out and buy one necessarily. Maybe you did. Maybe you bought some of the components because, you know, not everybody is mechanically inclined. That's totally cool. But either way, you put forth the effort, you put forth the work to put this antenna on the ground in this case, or in the air, whatever it might be, and then you run inside, you fire it up, and then it's like literally a switch was flipped, and now you've got logs coming in out the wazoo. There are few. I've experienced this over the years so many times. My first one that I really remember was I had a itching desire for Delaware. I tried for years and years and years from Brasstown to get Delaware. Could not pull it off. Finally, I just took 300 and some odd 50 feet of wire, copper wire, and stretched out into the woods as far as I could get it to go, as high as I could get it to go. It was a long wire. It was like 350-foot long wire. If I had known about bogs and things like that, and CASs back then, that's what I would have been doing. But that's besides the point. But I just did a 350-foot long wire pointing northeast, and that night I walked into the shack, fired up the Drake R8, and there was Delaware. First night, first DX session with a new antenna. There it was. Man, There have been few moments in my DX career that have matched that moment. Hearing Delaware as the fruit of my labor. Rhode Island, when I put up my Northeast CAS in South Carolina, that was one of those moments where I was like, there it is. Paraguay with my south-facing CAS here, there it is. That's one of those moments. So, bravo, man. Bravo, bravo, bravo. But he's not done. Many thanks to those on Slack who advised me, but also recommendation to others like me who are not technically inclined. Listen to this. I could not have done this project without Google AI mode to help me figure out many details in the design and build stage. AI can read articles, technical papers, component spec sheets, and watch YouTube videos faster than I can. If you're just getting started in this hobby, find an AI that works for you. Everybody else is busy DXing as they should be. I absolutely endorse this. Okay. A lot of the stuff you see on our websites, a lot of the spreadsheets that we have, like for our challenge, a lot of the work that I've been doing for DX Central over the last 2 years, I could not have done it to the level that I was able to do it without AI assistant, right? Started off with ChatGPT. I have now migrated over to Google Gemini because I find it to be a little more robust. One thing about that is you will want to keep, if you're using Google Gemini or any chat Chat GPT or whatever it is, you'll want to keep like a master document, okay? So everything you're feeding into it that you're trying to kind of make sure it knows about what you're trying to do, every once in a while have it output, okay, tell me everything you know, and then put that into like a Google Doc or something. That way you always have that, because sometimes after a while they have to kind of wipe the memory banks a little bit, and so it loses some of that detail of what you've been working on or what you've been telling it. So you'll want to do that, but it can be so helpful for you in your efforts. Like I've been doing some Balun calculations that I wanted to do for FM and for AM. Gemini's helping me do it. Okay, so I'm a big proponent of Google Gemini, Chat GPT, whatever your flavor is you prefer. I'm a Gemini guy, but you do you. Whatever flavor you prefer for AI, use that as the assistant that it should be to help you either with concepts you're trying to do. I did a whole article about how AI can help you with IDing stations. It can be a big help, at least narrowing it down, at least giving you, starting off from a list of hundreds of stations like on FM and narrowing it down to a couple, right? It can do some of the hard work for you. I'm a huge believer of this. So well done to our friend Dan. Now we have something to do for you, Dan, here. You have a new country, which means it's time that we stamp your passport. Here we go, my friend. We're going to look over here. And we're going to find ourselves a blank page. There we go. There's a blank page. And stamp that sucker. Jacob says New Jersey WRNJ is on which one? My DX Central or the Shortwave Central Kiwi? I'm assuming DX Central. If so, we're going to take a break from the shout-outs and go do that right now because that's a new state. And we have the dog over here. Wanted to be
in a garage. That's why we're so passionate about keeping the garage running. It's where kids dream, dads think.
Let me try.
Memories begin. The garage to upgrade. Call A1 Garage for service today or schedule online at a1garage.com. Because somewhere out there's a kid dreaming of a dirt bike and a garage that makes it all possible.
All right, we're going to try this, guys. Because New Jersey is a new state. It's one that we need. So I've got this trail right here, this trace, that I think I was seeing you guys say, this one here at 1509.982, that's them. Dennis, I've given the dog dinner. I've given the dog 2 treats since I started the show, and now begging for more. Let's try this out because we can do this as well. You guys can't see what I'm talking about here because I didn't put it up on screen. Here we go. So that trace right here that's kind of in and out here at .982, I'm assuming that's them. Yeah, that's them. Okay. Let's do something here. Let's pull up Linrad. This has got my 35-foot vertical and a W6 LVP loop. We're already on 1510 because I was listening for these guys earlier. Let's see what we have. Let's turn up the audio.
Radio 98.3 at 1510 WLAZ and iHeartRadio station.
I'm going to their live stream here. All right, that's what we're listening for. I don't hear him in there.
I've been having conflict with my husband.
I also took her out right before the show, too.
Full-time, he works full-time, and then he also
She's on a
has
routine.
job,
She just wants attention. That's all that is.
A second job that's part-time, excuse me. And
We dropped her off over at Mom's house at Shortwave Central when we went down to the city for Mardi Gras, so she was very much spoiled by the attention that I'm now not giving her.
now, starting in March, wants to use that.
So no fine young cannibals here. I'm not hearing them right now.
my wife said, hey, I know we got debt to pay down. I'm going to go gamble in Vegas instead. Are you okay with that? I think it's wise.
I know he has a friend who's in on it, and he claims, and the friend claims that he's very successful in it.
Recently successful?
Oh, I think I hear him.
It went down 50%. 50%.
It's lost 50% of its value in the last 2 months.
Which by the dip. Everyone's going, now's the time, man. It's going to climb back up to 100,000. And maybe it does. I'm not here to, play back the tape a year from now and be wrong. That's fine. I just think there's a guaranteed outcome of paying down your mortgage. There's a guaranteed interest rate, which is your mortgage interest rate that you're making by paying down this mortgage. So really what this is, there's a difference in risk tolerance, and you guys have different definitions of winning.
I don't hear it when I do the phase.
Okay.
So it's really a conversation about unity, and he thinks, well, this is our path to financial freedom, and you're going, nope, my financial freedom looks like less risk, not more.
I thought I heard them for a second there.
The fight about crypto, you're never going to get below the surface of the water. Y'all are going to make a lot of splashes, and you're going to take in a lot of water up your nose, but you're never going to get to the actual issue, which is under the water, which is, hey, we made an agreement that we wanted to never owe anybody any money again. And you're violating that agreement.
Okay.
And that's the real issue. This is a trust issue, right?
Yes, definitely.
And often, I wonder if your mom ended up wearing the pants, because that's who.
I'm going to go try to find a Kiwi here. That might have an option for us.
It's not about crypto. It's about him feeling like you can't tell me what to do. It's about him feeling.
So that's a Kiwi in New Jersey.
If your family, group, or organization is looking for an intimate event space for large or small gatherings, consider the new Coach Room by Mama's Catering. The Coach Room is ideal.
Let's see how far behind the stream is.
Every detail.
And parking?
Piece of cake.
Pretty close. The stream's pretty close.
And George gave you the best. Like, I just view this as sitting at a blackjack table in Vegas, and the house has won 4 times in a row, and the guy next to you is like, dude, they can't win 5. This is it.
We'll go back to their Kiwi here.
Maybe you win this time, but maybe you don't.
I just talked to a caller. The wife found out about some financial infidelity. He took out a HELOC, $250,000.
Yeah, I see it on the...
Wow.
So I see it on my Kiwi. My Kiwi here. I see that signal kind of in and out a bit. Right in here, right? But I might have heard a little bit of audio there for a second, but I'm not hearing much. I'm going to keep an eye on this one. We're going to come back to it. We'll keep an eye on it. Where is... Where's the... Oh, it's that. It's this one. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, we'll come back to that here in a minute because I want to make sure we have a chance to talk about some of the stuff that we have on deck here. We just wrapped up Dan's shout-out here, Dan Massey, as he was hearing Guatemala for the first time. So we stamped his passport. We're also going to do the log here. All right. Well done, Dan, my friend, and congratulations on the new bogs. That's really, really cool. Okay. All right, so now we are at 5 shout-outs. We'll get to our next round. And our next round, we're going to start off with our good friend, Stephanie, who did something that she has been wanting to do now for a very, very long time. We'll put it that way. Or trying to do for a very, very long time. So we've got an extra special shout-out for our friend Stephanie coming up here in hour number 2. Let's talk about FMDX web servers. So I mentioned here that we have one that we just started up a third one here in Mandeville. This is our Shortwave Central FMDX web server. So let's go ahead and put that up here on screen so you guys can take a look at it and see along with us. This is it right here. And I'll drop the link for it here in the chat. And this is also available on our main website, our livedxing.com website. So if you are familiar, livedxing, oops. There we go. Livedxing.com. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Livedxing.com. There we go. Livedxing.com. This is our website here with links to our Kiwis, our 2 Kiwis, the Shortwave Central Kiwi, my Kiwi here at the house at North Shore Studios, our original TEF online FM receiver, our headless TEF FM receiver, which has 2 antennas. Right now it's only one. I got to fix the other one. And then now the new one here, the Shortwave Central TEF receiver. So that all those are linked on our website here, livedxing.com. So just bookmark that. You can always find those very easily if you want to tune in from Mandeville. But this is Shortwave Central, swcentral.livedxing.com, and this is the online web server. So we're going to just peruse around a little bit. I'm going to hit a couple frequencies that I know are kind of a little more sparse, and just see how we're doing with those tonight. Because this is paired with an antenna that is 65 feet in the air, an omnidirectional antenna, 65 feet in the air. So let's start off here on 94.5. So that is KSMB out of Lafayette, Louisiana. Now, on all of my other ones, let's take a gander here at my original one here. This is our original with our log periodic. All right, so they're about a negative 80, negative 81 dBm on the log periodic, about a negative 87 on the 65-foot omnidirectional. Now, this was a log periodic pointing right at Lafayette. Okay, this is a gain antenna pointing right at Lafayette, if that tells you anything. They're both fed with KITS KT 501 LNAs. Okay, so that's equal. But this is about, I want to say it's 12 or 15 dB gain antenna, this log periodic, this right here. This has no gain. This is a gainless omnidirectional antenna, and you can see they're on both. They're going to be stronger on the long periodic because it's a gained antenna. It's a directional antenna at that. So it's getting rid of anything off the backside, and it's just pulling in what's on the front. So it's going to hear that. Another test is our headless here that we have. Here is the headless. It has none of it. They're not in there at all on the headless. They're in there on the Omni. That's the biggest tell, okay? So is it performing as good as a log periodic antenna, a gained antenna, a directional gained antenna pointing right at the station? No. Is it outperforming my other antennas? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's outperforming the S. We could probably test that out if we wanted to on our 62-foot omnidirectional and see how close those two are, but it's doing the job, right? It's getting that station in there. I mean, that's pretty decent signal. I know the DBM is about negative 85, negative 83. But, I mean, that's readable copy right there for KSMB on that omnidirectional. So that tells you what this thing can do. When we get into tropo season, this antenna is going to be a beast, a very big beast when it comes to Golf Tropo. So again, we have the link there in the chat. Check it out, swcentral.livedxing.com. If you want to DX, we have that. We have fmdx.livedxing.com. We have headless.livedxing.com. All those are linked on our livedxing.com website. Check those out if you want to do some FMDX from the Gulf Coast in Mandeville. Now, how do you do this? How do you get an FMDX web server? I saw someone mention earlier, you can use an RTL SDR. So all of mine that I have up are TEF radios, TEF 6686 radios. I've used desktops for the majority of them. I do have one that is one of the headless versions that is available here. If you go to fmdx.org, I'll drop this here in the chat as well. fmdx.org. And you can go to projects, hardware. Here's a headless TEF. You can build one. And there's also, I think there's an option you can buy one as well. I don't see the link on here and how to do that. But there is, if you're in the Discord, the fmdx.org Discord, there's a person there you can reach out to that they have a light version. This is the bigger version. This is the one I have. It's 2 antenna inputs, but there's also a light version. And the cool thing about these headless ones is like the desktop, I have to have audio cable routing from the TEF radio to my computer. With these, I don't have to do that. It routes all the audio through the USB cable. So that's one really nice benefit. But if you're interested in getting more information about becoming a web server host, go to, again, here, fmdx.org. I'll go ahead and drop this link in the chat. This is directly to their web server project. Oops, I think I just messed up and put a plus in there. I did. So use that one instead, that second one that I put in there, because that first one was... Yeah, let's get rid of that. There we go. This will give you some information on the project. You can see the full list of all the different servers on the map here. You can download the web server software that you need. Now, there are other pieces of software that you need here. And so what you'll want to do... Where was it? Here it is. This is the one that I just used recently to guide me through. This is the video. Noobish himself, the FMDX web server project owner, put this video up. And so this walks you through all the software you need, all the steps you need, the order you need to do it all in, because you have to download Node.js, you have to do FFmpeg, and you have to do the web server software. I use a Cloudflare tunnel to keep my IP address kind of hidden on ours, since I use my livedxing.com domain. But they have tunnels that you can use to put your web server through, so it hides your IP address. If you don't want your public IP address out there on display or whatever, you can use one of their tunnels. And then there's information, I think, available here on how to do that on their website, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this walks you through all the steps. One of the questions I saw you mention there was an RTL SDR dongle. I don't use an RTL SDR dongle here on my side for that, mainly because they are very prone to overload, and I'm in an RF-rich environment with a bunch of high-powered FM radio stations in my area, and they're super prone to overload, and so I don't use them for that reason. These TEF radios work really, really well in high RF environments. With mine, I don't do, you can set it up so that you connect to it via IP address, like TCP or whatever. I don't do that. I just use the serial port, the COM port on my computer for all my connections, so it's super easy. I just plug my desktop TEF into a USB port on my computer. It sees it as a COM port, and then I plug my audio cable from the back of the TEF radio into the audio in of my computer. That's it. That's it. That's the web server right there once you do all the other steps in here. So it's super, super easy. I highly recommend, if you're an FMDXer, I highly recommend that you check it out and try to get one up and running, because it does help all of us to be able to have a online receiver, as you know from AMDX or the Kiwis, to have an online receiver in various locations. You can spot, I mean, how many openings were spotted this year because of that Bahamas web server? or Bermuda rather, not Bahamas, Bermuda. And a lot of folks were like, oh, wow, the East Coast is coming in Bermuda. Let's go check and see if the East Coast is doing anything else. And a lot of openings were happening. I've caught an opening here into Jamaica, Cayman Islands, and Cuba because of an opening that I found on a online web server from Miami across the Gulf. And I was like, well, if they're hearing across the Gulf, I should be hearing down right into Cuba and Jamaica. And sure enough, there they were. So these online web servers are not just fun to kind of bounce around. They're really great DX tools as well. So I highly recommend. The more the merrier. We have a bunch of room out west, I think. We're starting to get more and more here on the East Coast. But I know out west, I think there's a bit of a dearth of, and that's an area that we could definitely use some. So here in the southeast, we could use some. Here out west, we could use some. You see on the map here all the places that currently have them. But the southeast could use a bunch. Out west can use a bunch. New England can use a bunch. So hop to. Get yourself an online FMDX web server, and let's have some fun together. All right, it's time to announce our new challenge. You guys ready? Here we go. All right, we are bringing back the U.S. State Challenge that we did last year. So for this one, we're not looking outside of our borders. Now, you watch. This will be the week that a big solar flare gives us unbelievable conditions down south. You just watch. It's going to happen. But we're looking for U.S. states only. No Canadians, no Mexicans, no international stuff at all. Only U.S. states. We're going to play the same rules that we did for the country challenge. So you can log up to 2 stations, and the first station you get in a state gives you 5 points. The second station you get gets you now a total of 10. So you get a second 5 points to give you a total of 10. Now, you can log as many as you want to from each state. That's fine. You can log as many as you want. But from a scoreboard perspective, I mean, you can rack up the logs. That's cool. But from a scoreboard perspective, the scoreboard is only going to count your first 2 from each state, and that's it. And then after that, it's going to count how many states you got, how many in each state you have for those 2, up to 2, and then there you go. But if you wanna rack up on some logs and really fill it up, by all means, nothing stopping you there. So we'll have that form up and live here in just a few moments. But we are now doing the state challenge. Here, as many states as you can. That's the goal. I'm going to be looking out west. I need Nevada. Not Nevada. I need Oregon. I need Idaho. I need New Jersey. I'm hoping I can pop this one over here tonight on 1510 and get that one, because that'd be a new state for me. So use this as an opportunity to chase some states maybe you don't have a lot of. Use it as an opportunity to chase some state you don't have any of, right? But also don't forget about those ones that you get on the regular, because those will also count for this, because, again, the goal is to hear as many states as you can during the challenge period and get those into the log entry. So it is almost top of the hour time frame, and that means it is time for us to do some live DX. This DX session is brought to you by the National Radio Club. NationalRadioClub.org is the website for more information about becoming a member of the NRC. I highly recommend that you do. IRCA, the NRC, both do phenomenal things for our hobby. It's top of the hour time.
DX Central Live Top of the Hour Alert.
All right, let's take a look. We're here on our DX Central Kiwi right now. Now, this says it's with our big Kaz. We're actually going to be sitting on our vertical. So let's start there.
That it feels like guilt almost, like I need to take care of him. What am I doing? I didn't make enough money. And you start, like, a lot of that type of angst is quenched when you have real information.
So you hit the nail on the head with that, because that's what I'm feeling a little bit frantic about.
Yes.
That asking you to
finding somebody and saying, I want to learn about this. And
all right, we're going to go find this Kiwi here in New Jersey again.
Like I'm a 9th grader. And I ask folks that about electric thing. I want to learn how to work on the lawnmower. I ask people, teach this to me like I'm in 9th grade.
We're going to do my usual Kiwi trick here. We're going to throw their Kiwi into my right ear at about 72%. My Kiwi is going to be in my left ear at about 72%. And let's see if we hear any echo. You ready?
You're going to realize, I got a decade's worth of work to do. But you'll have real information and an actual lit path on what direction to take.
Okay. I think you're going to feel a whole lot better when this is knocked out. I would reach out to a couple of state attorneys in your area and just get a feel. Then go with the one that you like, that you trust, and have them explain it to you and have them walk you through what is this going to cost to set up. It might be a few $1,000, but you will sleep so much better at night knowing that you've taken care of your family and now we're on track for retirement.
And George, this goes when it comes to finances, when it comes to retirement, when it comes to future, the angst that we all feel. And the closer you get to the 3rd and 4th quarter of your life, the bigger that anxiety gets. You cannot avoid it or work around it. There's one path only, and it's through it, right? And often that path is lit with real information.
I'm trying to find a better Kiwi here.
So getting real information on special needs trust.
There we go.
How many dollars will equal this many dollars, right?
Getting facts on paper, because your emotions will cloud your judgment all the time.
And
Ooh, I think I got him. Let's get through this LAC rejoiner, or this bumper music. Come on, LAC.
If you want to win with money in 2026, you can't keep living normal. Normal growth. You need a plan. You need a personalized plan. And start living like no one else by downloading our $3 app today. Most people just drift through life with their money. Winning with money is intentional. It's a choice you make every single day. That's why I love Fairwinds Credit Union. They build tools for people who don't want gimmicks or games. Their smart bundle includes
I think I got her in there. Man, they're weak. Super, super weak.
Checking account won't nickel and dime you to death with fees like other banks. Plus,
Here's the New Jersey Kiwi. Here's my Kiwi.
you control your money, not the other way around. Fairwinds Credit Union is for people who are serious about taking control of their money. So if you're ready to
We can get rid of this LAC stuff. This would be a great time for LAC to do a top of the hour silent period, wouldn't it?
Ramsey and get the Ramsey Be Weird debit card insured by the NCUA.
I'm Fox 17 Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan. Turning colder, that's the big story for the weekend. Temperatures will pop off in the mid-50s heading into Saturday, down to the low 30s.
Okay, they're doing, sounds like news or something here.
Police are conducting a raid on the home of former Prince Andrew.
Called the Board of Peace, an easy word to say, but a hard word to produce. Check in often.
A lot of this is clearly political.
Trying to find her.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of over 350,000 titles. Here's an
All right, I'm
iHeartRadio
putting the
podcast
form up
preview.
for the new challenge up now.
In central Ohio, that many people still don't want to talk about.
All right, the website is updated with the link, so those now point to the new challenge.
Once sat on death row, but now he's on the run. His name is Lester Eubanks. Lester didn't tunnel out of prison or steal.
Yeah, I gotta wait out the news here.
On December morning in 1973, he and a small group of inmates were granted permission.
Only shot I've got of this is music.
His handcuffs were taken off. He changed.
It's gonna have to be some very unique music. That's why that last one, the Stevie Wonder song, might have been
They were told they could
what I was hearing. I thought maybe there's a possibility.
asked to return to a designated meeting spot.
We're gonna have to wait and see.
Hours later,
later, all the inmates came back, except Lester Eubanks. And he hasn't been seen since.
He had a full plan. The guy had a plan.
I was just astounded that this could actually happen.
There were many years when it seemed like no one was even looking for Lester. But recently,
The music in there right now is probably Guatemala or something. We're going to have to wait it out. That's Guatemala right there that we're hearing the music. That's for sure Guatemala. I can see him. That trace is right there. That's their trace. But I don't log based off of just traces. I need some audio. I need more than one piece of information that I can match up.
Music, radio, and podcasts all in one.
When a customer pays a business with cash, they often need pennies for the exact amount. When they stop making pennies, that created a shortage. This resulted with the Northwest Grocery Retail Association that affects most businesses.
The abrupt halt in penny production has created operational and compliance
Spectrum?
Some states are looking into other options. For instance, the Oregon legislature is considering a bill to set a policy for rounding to the nearest nickel. Greg Atwood, the Oregon Restaurant and Lodging Association, says it sets the rule for how rounding works and requires it to be applied equally.
This bill includes some strong consumer protections. Businesses must clearly disclose any rounding policy. Customers always have the option to pay the exact.
Here's how it looks on the New Jersey Kiwi right here. You see that spike right here at .98. That's them. And let's see what they have for their signal. Ah, we got some Paul Simon. That'll stand out nice. I know what I'm listening for here. And of course, when I have a very distinct bit of music, poof, they disappear.
And there is a proposed one-time 5% wealth tax on California billionaires to fund healthcare efforts. It is backed by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who spoke at a rally in L.A.
Never before have so few people had so much wealth and so much power.
Because we've never seen this level of greed in American history.
$10 billion pocket change. $100 billion.
Yeah, that Guatemalan's been getting out very well lately, Kaz. And it's crazy because I've sat on this frequency so many times over the years here in Mandeville because of Ecuador. As you know, that's my beacon frequency, especially on this southern antenna here. Let's see what we have on the southern antenna. Guatemala. With Monumental underneath them. So I don't know if maybe they might have done something with their transmitter because for the first, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 5.5 years I've lived here, I'd never heard Guatemala on 1510. And then they just showed up one day and they haven't left. They've been there nonstop ever since on 1510. So I don't know if they've done something with their transmitter or what. And Ecuador has not been as loud on 1510 during that time. And they normally are booming in here. I don't know if something with the solar conditions. I don't know. But that one's getting out quite well. And a lot of people are hearing them. So I would definitely check.
Talk to Gary. What up, Gary?
Hey, guys. How are you?
We're good, my brother. What's up with you?
All right. We still have You Can Call Me Al.
My question is, I've been happily married for coming up on 26 years. I hit the wife lottery. We've been sort of financially very fortunate during our marriage. And at this point,
I'm going to try something here.
Place, financially.
We're going to switch this to my 35-degree northeast Kaz.
Followed or kind of strictly adhere to any sort of...
So this is a Kaz pointing right at him.
During that entire time. I have tried, throughout the years, at various points to,
We got him! We got him, baby!
With at least sort of looking and following some sort of budget, but, probably mostly my fault. Those discussions just end up in arguments, and I just wonder at this stage, at this point in our lives, I'm considering, I'm looking at retirement hopefully in the next few years, or the ability to retire. Is it worth it to continue to try and fight that battle? And it's sort of, if we may do. And
it was the Northeast Kaz that did it, man. They were there on the vertical, but the Northeast Kaz sealed the deal.
To get her on board.
I have like a physical aversion.
Finally got New Jersey in the logbook.
Yeah, I shouldn't say. Maybe that's the.
I gotta take. Give me. I need a moment, y'all. That's one. Oh. That's what I've been trying for 5.5 years. I've been trying to get New Jersey in the logbook from Mandeville. That's the one, Jacob. I've been trying to get them in the logbook on this antenna and others for 5.5 years with no success. That was them. We have the trace, and when we had the peaks of the trace, we had the audio. The matching up with Paul Simon. Oh, yes, it's a very good day here.
So if you sit down with her, and
that's the New Jersey.
And I'm going to use language that Texas males don't use, okay?
Now they're fading out, of course, now.
We're heading into retirement. Our life is about to change dramatically.
Yep, there they are.
Time-wise, financially, all of it. And
just heard a little bit of it. They're in and out a lot, but they're there. Oh, man. That is a new state, my friends. Had it on our Kiwi, the DX Central Kiwi, with the Northeast Kaz. This is a 15 by 60 foot Kaz. So 15 foot high, 60 foot long, oriented right at 35 degrees. Have a vactrol on the backside for nulling, which I don't even think it's connected right now because I took it off because of lightning storms. So it's kind of bidirectional right now. But it's directional enough that we just got New Jersey. Let's take a quick break, my friends. When we come back, we have plenty of shout-outs to get to. I know we're now at 11 after the hour, so we're already kind of behind. I didn't have a lot to talk about tonight anyway because we haven't done much DX. But we have a bunch of shout-outs to get to, including a very special one for our friend Stephanie. And we also have a look at a solution. If you hate F connectors as much as I do, and you have to unplug them for like storms and stuff, I got your solution. Stick around.
DX Central, because we're all about radio. Visit us at dxcentralonline.com or check us out on YouTube. Search DX Central. DX Central Live is brought to you in part by
For more than 90 years, the National Radio Club has been at the forefront of providing DXers with the latest in station news, DX-related technical information, and reception reports from DXers around the world. The NRC's AM radio log is the most expansive and detailed resource of station information for U.S. and Canadian radio stations that is available in any format. The club's publication, the DX News, is available in both print and electronic format and provides the latest information on call letter and format changes, construction permits, and other information to help keep DXers informed of the latest updates they may hear on the air. For more information, visit their website at nationalradioclub.org. That's nationalradioclub.org. The International Radio Club of America gives DXers incredible value by putting important station information right at your fingertips. The club's e-publication, the DX Monitor, includes DXer loggings, station information updates, international loggings, and more. Other club publications include the IRCA Mexican Log, a must-have resource for any DXer that chases stations from Mexico, the TIS-HAR list, the IRCA slogan list, sunset sunrise maps, and DXer technical guides. The joint IRCA-NRC email reflector and groups.io group is a hub for real-time DX conditions, station news, and DX-related conversation. For more information, visit ircaonline.org. That's ircaonline.org. From long wave to satellites, medium wave through HF, ham radio to scanners. If you can DX it, the Spectrum Monitor has you covered. Editor and publisher Ken Reitz has assembled a who's who of radio writers to share their knowledge and expertise from a wide range of DX-related topics. Each month, the Spectrum Monitor's columnists dive into their specialties to give readers tips, tricks, the latest news and station updates, and more. The Spectrum Monitor also provides a monthly assortment of feature articles that give in-depth insight into the past, present, and future of DXing. You can get a full year of the Spectrum Monitor for only $24. Individual issues from the current year are available for $3 each. You can also purchase previous years of the Spectrum Monitor in their entirety for as low as $12. For more information, visit thespectrummonitor.com. That's thespectrummonitor.com.
Can't get enough DX? Then the DX Central from the Static podcast is for you. Take DX Central on the go and listen to episodes from DX Central Live, interviews with prominent members of the DX community, tips, tricks, how-tos, your DX memories and stories. And that's just the start. You can find the From the Static podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes, or anywhere you get podcasts, or by visiting FromTheStatic.net. That's FromTheStatic.net. For stories, signals, and voices from across the airwaves, don't miss the DX Central From the Static podcast.
Keep up with DX Central. Follow us on Twitter at DX Central.
They're out there chasing the night. The street lights glow, but I've got my shortwave on. It's my kind of show. Skip the parties and fights. I've got frequencies to find. Stay home, tune in. That's my vibe. Catch the static from the world. It's alive. Who needs trouble when the airwaves hum? Stay home and tune in. Let the signals come. Let the signals come.
From the DX Central North Shore Studios, this is DXC Live. Now here's your host, Lloyd Van Horn.
It's DX Central Live from the North Shore Studios here in Mandeville, Louisiana, where we are celebrating a new state now in the log. In case you just joined us, we just got New Jersey on 1510 kilohertz on WRNJ. That's a new state for us. We don't have New Jersey here from Mandeville. When I was in Charleston, I heard graveyarders, right? New Jersey was great. But that's easy when you're on the East Coast. When you're here out in the middle of the continent, New Jersey's a little harder. Even with some of the options like WTTM and some of the others, that should make it a little easier. Not so much. So getting them in the logbook tonight, that's a big help. So we got some great shout outs to get to, but real quick before we do, I want to do something a little pro tip for you guys. So this came up because I've got a bunch of FM antennas here at DX Central that I have to unplug whenever a storm arrives. And those antennas are all fed with 75 ohm coax, usually RG6 quad shield here in the shack or in Studio B. And then there's a little window pass-through cable that has an F connector on it, and then that goes out to another F connector on the outside that goes up to the antenna. So it's F connectors all around. And I hate these things because they just don't really, like, getting it to screw on sometimes, getting it to catch the threading is tricky. It's just a pain. Especially when you have to unplug it and then plug it back in and unplug it and plug it back in. It's kind of a pain. And this came up because of our new web server we have over at Shortwave Central. I wanted to make it a little easier for Mom to be able to just unplug the antenna whenever there was a storm coming into our area, so she wouldn't have to do the same thing, like struggling with this connection. So I remembered when I was living in Charleston, our cable TV, our internet rather, from I think it was, I forget who it was, Comcast or one of those. They had a little adapter on the end of their F connector that you just slid it onto the F female connection on the box or whatever. You didn't have to sit there and screw it on. I was like, man, I love this. I use this all the time with my DX. Well, guess what? I found one. I'm going to show you here on this camera because it'll be easier to do. So here we have, I have a little connector here, a little adapter. This is an SMA female to F female connection that we have right here, a little adapter. So you'll see here on this side with the part sticking up, this is the F connection side. This is the important side for what we're talking about right here. So what I have is, and I'll put the link up to where I found this on Amazon. These are gold plated, so it's nice, good connection. It's an adapter, and basically you screw your F connector on the threaded side right here, okay, and then you've got this slip on right here, and so it literally just comes over here and slides on to your F connector. That's it. Now that connection is made. So if this was on my my window pass through, I would now be connected, right? So this little guy, again, super simple, done. Now you want to be careful because there's a center pin in here, and if you go too quick and you jam it too much, you can bend that center pin, and that's problematic. Take your time, line it up. You don't have to jam it on there, just a quick little, and then you're connected. You screw it on one time with your feed line onto this adapter, and then you're done. So I'll put the link here in a bit of where I found these on Amazon. But man, I tell you what, I ordered 5 because I have several, like I said, here at the house, and then one for over at Mom's house. I have since ordered 10 more. Because I'm going to use them all over the place. Now, I've done some testing. I don't notice any loss. They don't seem to be lossy. So I got the gold-plated ones because I wanted a nice, good connection. So I get you a quality one that's not going to break on you. Be careful with that center pin, and you should be good. So if you have F connectors like I do that routinely have to be unplugged and replugged and unplugged and replugged, save your fingers. That's it. Done. Finished. Shout out time.
Hear the call for every signal, big or small, from AM to FM to C to C. We celebrate the ones who slag your IT. Shout out loud, let it be known, you're never DXing all alone. Through the static we found our way. Shout outs making waves today.
This is an extra special edition of the shout-outs. And it's because of our friend Stephanie. Stephanie Battaglino. God, I hope I said your name right, Stephanie. You know I'm horrible with stuff like that sometimes. I keep just playing with it. I'm like, connected, disconnected, connected. Put that down. Stephanie is in Southern California, and the Radio Hacienda, as she calls it, and has been racking up great DX from Southern California out there in the Palm Desert area, and just absolutely having a ball and crushing it. But there has been an elusive shadow lurking for her west of the Mississippi River, and that is the state of South Dakota. Until now. 810 KBHB, Sturgis, South Dakota, February 13th, from 011 to 018 UTC. At times, even and over, so equal to and over, KSFO. They were clearly on their day rig of 25 kilowatts, was KBHB in Sturgis, South Dakota. I missed this one. With several country tunes parallel to the stream, Faith Hill, Keith Urban, Kathy Mattea, Willie Nelson, just to name a few, caught a top-of-the-hour ID into ABC News as well as non-IDs between songs. The attached clip can give you a sense of their signal strength, 25 kilowatts at 1,009 miles from the Palm Desert. So, we're going to celebrate Stephanie, and then we're going to use this as a learning opportunity for all of us. New state number one, South Dakota number 1. New milestone. All states in the lower 48 west of the Mississippi are now in the logbook. New totals for my little corner of the country are 34 U.S. states, 5 Canadian provinces, 16 Mexican states, 8 countries including U.S. Big shout out to Bruce Porter, who posted in the IRCA Reflector that KBHB might well be cheating. Thank you, Bruce, for the heads up. There's 2 lessons here to glean from this one. So first we celebrate. I've been waiting a long time, Stephanie, to do this one for you. I've been waiting a very long time to fire that firework off for you, my friend. And the milestone. You know what? Yes. You set your sights on your target. You put your goal in mind. And you were relentless in your pursuit. And if you remember, if you tuned in during our DX Central Live, DX Radio crossovers, she also got South Dakota on FM recently. That sometimes happens. You get it on one side, you get it on the other. Now South Dakota's going to be all you hear from now on. Here's our lessons. So we've celebrated our friend. We also have the logs. Let's just do the logs. So here are our lessons that we can glean from Stephanie's wonderful bounty of South Dakota in the logbook. And we're going to play the clip here in a moment. Number 1, this was on 810 kilohertz where KSFO in San Francisco is located. San Francisco, Palm Desert, not that far away. Okay? So a lot of times the temptation is there. I do it too. The temptation is there to say, I'm not going to hear them. I've got so-and-so and so-and-so. I've got WLAC on 1510. I've got Radio Monumental out of Ecuador, and I've got Radio Centro Americano out of Guatemala. And if I get rid of all them, there's Mexico. So there's no way I'm going to hear WRNJ, right? Never, ever think that it's impossible. Someone just mentioned in the chat, seems like more stations are cheating these days. That's a good thing for us. Unless you're, very close to that cheating station. And they do it all the time. But the occasional cheat? That's a DX test, my friends. That's just as good as a DX test. So you never know when that local station of yours is going to be silent, quiet, dead air. You never know when they're going to be doing some transmitter work. You never know when they're going to have problems with their signal. You never know when they're not doing anything different, but there's another station on frequency that should not be transmitting at their power, and all of a sudden they forget to turn it off, or their automation system fails, or something happens, and now that station that has no business coming in your way, there they are. Never say never. Because it can happen. Proof right here. Sturgis on top of, at times, San Francisco. The other lesson here is, I talk about it, you gotta join the IRCA, man. You gotta join the IRCA and the NRC so you can be part of. We have a great community in the Slack channel. And we help each other out a lot. That one came from IRCA list server, the email reflector. You gotta get in there, man. You gotta be a member of the club so you get those real-time alerts, because while we're great in the Slack channel, there's a lot more people in the clubs. And so you're much more likely to get those notices that way than anywhere else. And then we can say, hey, by the way, Slack channel folks, IRCA is reporting this is happening. So there's your 2 lessons. Well done, my friend. Here's that clip. Let's take a listen.
They simply refuse to name names. Even though they'll say that they know the names, and they'll say they know the names over and over again, it gets a little frustrating with all of the talk, all of the talk, and no actual action.
Oh, man. There you go. I mean, that was equal. That was pretty much equal right there with them. So well done, Stephanie. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're glad to be able to celebrate for you, my friend. And there you go. Next up on our shout-out list, we have Dennis in Virginia. Dennis Bannister in the chat. He's got a bunch of stuff here. I see a lot of categories we're about to cross off the list here for him. So we're going to start with 640 WOI in Ames, Iowa, 895 miles. We've got YNLD 600 in Managua, Nicaragua, 1,862 miles. KFBU Fox Farm, Wyoming, 1,460 miles on 1630. 580 CF, my mouse is in the way, CFRA in Ottawa, Ontario. XEP BGR, we just talked about these guys in Guadalajara, Mexico, 1,934 miles on 1510 kilohertz. Also from Mexico, we've got 620 XENK. That is from Ecatepec de Morelos. I hope I said that right. Mexico, Mike J. Don't crucify me on that one, man. 1,800 miles. San Luis Potosi, I could do that one. 1,750 miles for XEWA on 540. Radio Monumental, Quito, Ecuador on 1510. That's 2,639 miles. 910 WTWD, Plant City, Florida, 743 miles. Now, he says, since the last show, I have 22 new logs. I only included the non-U.S. stations here, except for the U.S. ones over 700 miles. Those were logged with the 2 35-foot vertical antennas into my new RSP Duo and Linux. One antenna has an FLG 100LN. I know it's not the best match for the antenna, but it works. If it works, it works. The other antenna has a 9-to-1 Unun, and that performs great too. If it works, it works. Something is better than nothing. I always say that. Something is better than nothing. Right? Is it going to be perfect? Probably not. Is it going to work? Probably. And if it works, great. I haven't kept track of Mexican states log, but I'm sure at least one of those might be new states. So I never did track my Mexican states until I started living here, and I started seeing how many I was able to get. And I was like, well, let's track it. And you'd be surprised how many you can grab, man. You really would. So we start you off there. We're going to start off with the New Mexican state, because I'm pretty sure that 620 is probably one for you. So we're going to start there. We also have some new logs for him here because he heard some new logs. And a new Latin American station because we celebrate that here. Why? Because they're fun. can't stop playing with this little push-on adapter. It's so much fun. I have to make sure I don't break anything. All right, there you go. Well done, Dennis, my friend. Congratulations. And glad that new setup with the new end verticals is working out well for you. Our friend Rick says, Rick Dow, drummer 1965 USA out of Nebraska. He's in the chat here. Just one new catch to pass along since last week's report. Heard WEKZ 1260 Monroe, Wisconsin on February 12th at 0706 Central Time. Week, but in there under presumed WSDZ with a WEKZ jingle ID. I would not have heard this without the double sideband option on AirSpy. Wisconsin number 58 here, and my 999th logging of a U.S. station on AM from this QTH. One more to go. Only one more, and I get to press this button. You see that? It was pretty quick. One more. What's it going to be, Rick? When are you going to get that one? We'll press that button for you. Let's cut some cheese first, though. We got to cut the cheese. And a new log for our friend Rick. There you go, my friend. Well done. Well done, Rick. Hit that delete row. All right. Next up, we have our friend Stuart. Stuart's in Michigan. Says, welcome back to Lloyd and all the DXers who might be tuned in, either live or on the replay. Hope we had a fun time at Mardi Gras. We did. I'll tell you that story here in a bit. I'll tell you about the Mardi Gras experience, because I realize I haven't really told you all about that yet. Not a bad week of DX here in Southeast Michigan. Despite having a couple of episodes of DX frustration, particularly, that's a hard word to say, when my autologger failed right before Thursday morning's Tropo opening. I did end up getting my fair share of new logs this week, though. Here's what he's gotten. Check this out. A couple of names we've heard here today. 580 WCHS in Charleston, West Virginia, 290 miles over my local CKWW. La Pantera, 940 WCND in Shelbyville, Kentucky, 291 miles. Thanks to Michigan Mike. Michigan Mike? Okay. Oh, yeah, Michigan Mike in the Slack. I got you. Christian Talk, 1160 WCVX in Florence, Kentucky, 234 miles. Praise 1310 WTLC in Indianapolis, Indiana, 216 miles over my local WDTW. Again, there was a DX catch over top of a local. See what I'm saying? News Radio 1620 WNRP in Gulf Breeze, Florida, 840 miles. Talk Radio 1330 WAEW in Crossville, Tennessee, 442 miles. Barry's neck of the woods there. El Rey 630 WREY in St. Paul, Minnesota, 491 miles over my local CFCO. 690 WZAP in Bristol, Virginia, 14 watts, 399 miles. And finally, 1520 KRHW in Sikeston, Missouri, 488 miles. Hey, all right, you got him. I thought that might be who you had. I additionally received a number of new FM logs thanks to warmer weather we've been having, and not only resulting in occasional Tropo, but allowing me to DX from various low-noise parks around the area, such as 100.9 The Mitt. That was an autologger hit 102 miles from Michigan to be LUN. Holy Family Radio, 91.5 WC... WVAV in Vicksburg, Michigan. Not Mississippi, Michigan. It's tempting for me to say Mississippi when I'm saying Vicksburg. 87 miles. And another Holy Family Radio, 88.7 WSPB in Bedford, Michigan, 78 miles. 89.3 WHFR in Dearborn, Michigan, 270 watts, 26 miles. Mix 106.1 WVNO in Mansfield, Ohio, 120 miles over top of a local. Wink, wink. American Family Radio, 91.5 WBIE in Delphos, Ohio, at 96 miles. 103.1 to be NDH in Napoleon, Ohio, 71 miles over heavy IBOC from my local 102.9, with the goal now achieved of getting at least one station on all FM frequencies. Man, we're going to go ahead and hit that right now. 93.7 The Dog, WDGG, licensed to Ashland, Kentucky, but the transmitter is in Huntington, West Virginia, which means a new state. 275 miles. La Z, 107.9 W3 00DI. There we go. That's the translator. 85 watts, 31 miles, mixing with a local translator. These new logs bring my total in Ann Arbor to 438 FM stations. I also received some new gear just this afternoon. The touchscreen version of the DP666 portable. This little guy right here, in case you're curious. See if you can see it better on the big screen here. There you go. This is the touchscreen version of the DP666 portable. I plan to use it not only as additional TEF portable, but also as a backup should my auto logger permanently fail. I'm looking forward to testing out this new radio. It is a nice one. I can vouch. It's really, really good. As TEFs go, I mean, they're all really, really good. But for whatever reason, I really enjoy DXing on this one. So, I'm also looking forward to going on vacation to Orlando, Florida, between Sunday and Thursday of next week. However, I did see the Tropo will be gone for pretty much the entire time I'm there. We got a cold front coming through this weekend. Hate it for you, man. Otherwise, we're in that muggy time frame right now until that cold front gets here. So, still can't wait to hear the local Orlando FM station for the first time in over 11 years. If I do end up miraculously getting DX, I'll let you guys know next week. So we've got some stuff to celebrate for our friend Sturt, and we're going to start with the new logs. We've got several in there. To answer your question about noise, Sunpilio? No, I don't hear any noise when I touch the display. At least I haven't noticed anything. And I've got both the little stylus that they sent with it and also just my fingers, my fat fingers on there. I don't notice anything. Let's test it out, though. So it's going to fire up. We're on version 2.20. Oh, yeah, we're on the wrong band here, aren't we? There we go.
And Coco Jones, well, I see you, and our iHeartRadio music.
I got the wrong one here. There we go. 92.1. I'm going to go to an open frequency. No noise. Not a bit. So that's a good endorsement, right? That nasty noise on the AM band. Shoo. That's in the shack. New U.S. state for our friend Sturt. And distance record broke. Right? Got some new stuff in there. Oh, that's what it was. It was the goal. My bad. I hit the wrong button. I was like, wait, what was the milestone? It was the goal. You got one station on every single FM frequency. That is a fantastic goal to have. The radio I'm holding here, Carl, is the TEF 6686. It's the DP 666 version of it. It's got a TEF 6686 chip inside. And it's a little touch screen. And this summer, there we go, I'm planning on pairing this guy with my 5-element Yagi that was built for me by Aero Antennas. It's cut for 102 megahertz. And we're going to take it out to the lake and do some tropo. When we have Gulf Tropo coming in, I'm going to take it right on the Lake Pontchartrain, do some portable Tropo work with this guy. Fantastic radio. But you got that goal, and it's again, we're talking about the methodical approach of DXing sometimes, especially when you find yourself in a rut. If you find yourself having a hard time getting new stuff in the logbook, mix it up. Look at your logbook and try to identify, where do I have gaps? Where do I have holes in my logs? Whether it's, hey, maybe I want to make sure I have at least one station on every frequency, or 2 or 3 or 4 on every frequency. Maybe I haven't done anything at sunset or sunrise on the AM side. Maybe I haven't done any tropo on this one particular frequency. Maybe I haven't done anything with this radio or this antenna, right? So the more data you're putting into your logbook as you're logging these stations, the more ways you can slice and dice that data to help you be able to then identify, okay, where are my trends? What are my gaps? What am I missing? And so forth. This is actually going to be a topic that we're going to be discussing in a live stream Zoom call that we're going to be having for our patrons. So if you would like to have this discussion, we're going to be doing a live stream Zoom call where we talk about Google Suite for logging. Google Sheets as a logbook, Looker Studio, and some of the other options that are out there for doing the data analysis. There's some that are more kind of complex than others, but I think Looker Studio is the one we're using on our DX Challenge website now. It's probably the best and most robust and quickest way of doing data analysis on your logbook, and you don't have to build a bunch of pivot tables in Google Sheets. You can just build stuff directly the way you want to in Looker Studio. It's really nice. So we're going to be doing this. It's going to be in the patron exclusive, so the only way you're going to be able to get into this live stream, the Zoom call, is if you're a patron. So go to patreon.com/DXCentral if you want to be part of the announcement when we send that out. I'll be getting that scheduled here pretty soon, and we'll be doing this Google Suite logbook data analysis discussion. So bring your questions, bring your topics, your tips, bring what you're doing, and we're going to just sit and talk about logging and spreadsheets and how all that can fit together, and what I do with my own logbooks and what you can do with yours. And it's going to be a great discussion. So, again, patreon.com/DXCentral, because it's going to be exclusive for our patrons. We're not going to be putting that up on the YouTube channel for everyone else. It's going to be just for our patrons. So you'll definitely want to make sure you tune or join up so you can tune in for that. We have one more shout-out to get here for the evening, and then we'll do some more DX. We have Walter Johnson. Walter is in the state of Georgia. And Walter says he's gotten a couple stations here. We're starting with 1050 WFAM in Augusta, 183 miles. And also WFSC in Franklin, North Carolina at 254.7 miles. So 2 new stations on 1050. One of those frequencies I don't spend a lot of time on. I probably need to. WRWH in Cleveland, Georgia, 208.7 miles. Fox News Radio at the top of the 5 a.m. hour. 1370. WSPD in Toledo, Ohio, 692.6 miles with a weather update report at 5:24 a.m. Eastern. I'm sensing a pattern here. We're seeing some sunrise skip. Some sunrise skip. That's always a great time to do some DX. 1420 WKWN in Trenton, Georgia, 239.2 miles. 1080 WKJK in Louisville, Kentucky, 473.8 miles. And 1470 WRGA in Rome, Georgia, at 196.3 miles. During the morning sports report, there was a brief mention of Georgia State University men's basketball team defeating Georgia Southern 66-64 on the 19th. So there you go. So he's gotten some of that stuff that's a little closer in, a little sometimes hidden, right? Sometimes those stations can be hidden, especially when we get into the nighttime skywave conditions. And some of those more dominant stations on the frequency, a little more regional or further out, may take over. And then some of those that are closer in become harder to hear. A quick trip through the band on the sunrise will fix that. And this time of the year that we're heading into right now, with daylight savings about to start and the solstice right afterwards, this is a fantastic time of the year for Sunrise DX. The fall is also is a little bit better. Honestly, it's a little bit better, but this is a really, really, really good time of the year to be doing Gray Line DX. I highly, highly recommend, if you have not yet made Gray Line DXing sunset and sunrise, right, part of your routine, you want to pull that in I'm a night owl. I stay up until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning a lot, and I don't get up early. But my SDR can be awake even if I'm not. So I can hit that record or schedule that recording to run while I'm snoozing away. And my SDR is capturing all that DX, and then I can go back in later and see what I got. That's the great thing about SDRs, man. I love it. So we're going to celebrate our friend Walter here with a fantastic bounty of log. There we go. Well done, my friend. And that's a lot of times that's what we find. You're going to find there's going to be a lot of that kind of closer in stuff. I'm talking 100, 200, 300 miles. You're like, why don't I have some of these stations? Do it at sunrise. Do it at sunset. You'll find them there. You'll find them there waiting. And by the way, just a little pro tip, a little early look. This time of the year that we're heading into, is spring and then into summer, is a phenomenal time to get some of those short to mid-range graveyard stations. During the winter, conditions are quieter. The further stations, I'm talking 600, 800 miles plus, are going to be more likely during the winter when conditions are quieter. The delayer is not as strong. It doesn't take as long to dissipate. You get some of the further stuff in the wintertime. Summertime, you have a more robust delayer. Those further skywave signals have a hard time punching through. But guess what doesn't? All that shorter stuff, 200 to 500, 600 miles. You're missing a bunch of those graveyarders in that range. This is going to be the time of the year, springtime and summer. Those are the times when you want to be looking for those stations, because they're more likely to be there and be heard, because they're not getting and having to compete with those stations that are further out that are coming in because it's quieter. So there you go. All right, my friends, thank you for your shout outs. If you have some time, if you still want to get one in, we can get you in here. If not, we can get you in for next week. Let me take a quick look at my logbook and just make sure I'm not missing anything here. I think, did we get anything this last week besides New Jersey? Still buzzing on that one. AM, did we get anything recently? We had WIBA, that's right. 1310 WIBA in Madison, Wisconsin. We had them on the 8th of February. They were coming in. There was a 1 kilohertz repeating tone that was coming in. Our friend Jacob up in Minnesota alerted everyone in the Slack channel and said, "Hey, Lloyd, I'm here on your Kiwi." And that always gets my attention. If someone says, "Hey, I'm hearing this station on your Kiwi that normally would not be heard," that gets my attention very, very quickly. Or "Hey, Lloyd, I've got Jamaica on your FMDX web server." You're going to see me breakneck speed getting to either my shack, or if I'm not at home, my phone to remote in and hit the record button. But yeah, we got that one in WIBA. That was another one from Wisconsin. That is, let's see. Here's our online logbook that I was just talking about, right? Our online logbook. So how many stations do I have on AM from the state of Wisconsin? We have... Oh, that's not... that I didn't type that right. That's why. We have 7. 7 stations out of Wisconsin, the furthest being 1,053 miles away. So, not bad. Not bad. More than Minnesota. On the FM side of things, I don't think we've done much. We had a little bit of Tropo here and there. I think we got 1 station on Tropo recently. And so let's take a look here. I want to say it was up in Mississippi. No. We did not. Okay. Maybe we didn't. Thought we might have. Anyway. So, not a lot of time for DX here. We've been mostly focused on Mardi Gras. So I'll tell you guys the story. So, the last couple weeks we've had parades kind of hit or miss, around, especially on Friday nights. Everyone kind of focuses on Fat Tuesday because that's the day, right? That's the big day. But Mardi Gras actually is a 2-week long season of parading. It actually starts on January 6th. Mardi Gras carnival season starts on January 6th with the Epiphany, King's Day, 12th night. But that's when you can start eating king cake again. But the actual parades usually are about 2 weeks before Fat Tuesday or so, roughly, and then it kind of goes up from there. So we had some parades on Friday nights here in Mandeville, over in Slidell, a couple of different places, and then that ramped up to the big weekend, which is all the big parades the last weekend before Fat Tuesday. So a couple weeks ago, my wife and I, we were talking. We're like, man, we've been really kind of hitting the grindstone pretty hard. We'd like to kind of get out of town, and let's go down in the city, and let's do Mardi Gras in the city. So we hadn't done that in a while. We hadn't done that in about 5-6 years in the city itself on Fat Tuesday. So I did some searching, and I found a really good deal. Like, can't believe how good of a deal this was. On a hotel right on St. Charles Avenue, right next to Gallier Hall, which is where like the mayor's out there toasting Rex, the king of Carnival, and toasting the king of Zulu or whatever, doing all that stuff. That's at Gallier Hall, right? When you see all that stuff on TV, it's usually somewhere there around Gallier Hall because the TV stations all set up like right there across the street. I was right next to the TV stations. We had a hotel right next to their little area where they were, and come to find out, we had our own balcony. We had a balcony overlooking the parade route. So Monday night, we were down on the street level. We were hanging out with everybody down there and having a good time for two parades that were there. One is of an older parade called Proteus. It's been around since like the 1800s. And then there's a newer one that started in 93 called Orpheus. That's owned by Harry Connick Jr. I caught a doubloon from Harry Connick Jr., and then he threw a second one and hit me in the head. So, Harry, you got to knock me out for a minute. No, I'm just kidding. So we did that Monday night and had a really good time. And then Tuesday, we woke up early, caught Zulu, caught Rex, the two big kind of Fat Tuesday parades. But we did that from our balcony, that we were sitting up on the balcony, because Fat Tuesday is pretty hectic. The crowds are pretty thick. When I woke up at 6 a.m., now Zulu starts rolling at 8 o'clock. It didn't arrive to where we were until about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I want to say, somewhere in there. But when I woke up at 6 a.m., I looked out the window. There was already like 4 rows deep of people at the spot we had been at the night before, and we were right on the front row when we did that the night before. I was like, well, I'm not sitting that far back. Let's just do the balcony today. So we did that, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. Got to see all the great bands. Zulu has the best bands. Southern University was in there. Jackson State University, St. Augustine High School was in Rex. We got to see them perform. The bands are my favorite part of the Mardi Gras parades. Just hearing them perform and everything, and it was a great time. So I know we were gone for a couple of weeks, but I appreciate you guys letting us have that time to kind of be having some fun doing the local thing here. And I kind of took a DX break for a little bit. Kind of walked away from the radio for a little bit, focused on some other things I need to get done around the house and some other projects, but took a little bit of a DX break. Now ready to hit the bands again, and especially have some energy ready for FMDX season. Very, very, very excited about the upcoming FMDX season to see what we might have. Are we going to get another good season like we had last year? I would say last year was not the best season ever, although the numbers tell that story a little differently. But it was a very, very good season. It was, output-wise, it was a very, very good season. Could it have been better? Yeah, more people could have had more longer openings, right? More lengthy openings. But I think, and we had more openings on more days, but we had these like massive days. Massive days. Like July 4th was a massive day. So the output looked amazing because we had these really massive days and then stretches of nothing for a while, right? So we could have had less of the stretches of nothing and had more kind of routine, regular, consistent openings. So hopefully we'll get that this year. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see. All right. We are DXing. We are looking for states as we have now launched our new challenge. It is the state challenge. So you are tasked with going forth and getting new states, as many states as you possibly can. That's the goal. 2 logs per state. That's what counts for the scoreboard we're going to have running here for this week. So get out there and do it. Let's do some more live DX. Now, I know this is going to say FM, but this is our live DX session from the Spectrum Monitor, thespectrummonitor.com. thespectrummonitor.com. Go subscribe. It's a fantastic magazine. Might be biased. I do write for Ken and for the magazine. So does Mom. But it really is. It is that good. You don't see magazines like this anymore. We used to have MT, Monitoring Times. We used to have Popcom, Popular Communications. We used to have a couple others as well, but MT and Popcom were kind of the big two. Spectrum Monitor is what we got, and it is really, really good. It's a lot of the same people that you used to read in MT and Popcom and other places, all congregated now on one digital magazine platform. So thespectrummonitor.com. The annual subscription is not much. Even if you want to go the individual issue route, they're like $3. It's not much at all. So go get you a subscription, and every 4 months or so, every once a quarter, you'll read my stuff when I write about AM and FM DX. Some stuff that I don't even do anywhere else except for in the Spectrum Monitor. All right, we're here. We're still sitting on 1510, and look at that. That's the residual trace that you see there on our northeast CAS antenna. 35 degrees pointing right there at New Jersey, and we got them. We got in New Jersey on this last DX session that we did. So let's take a look around and see if we can find some other states. Now, though, it is time.
DX Central Live Top of the Hour Alert.
Yes, we do top of the hour time frame looking for IDs. And let's just keep our antenna pointing to the northeast here. Let's just keep looking in that direction.
There's a lot of square footage. Do they use a screen?
All right.
They use special gloves.
And let's see what other states up in that general direction that we can pull in here for the challenge. So we're going to start with 770. Let's start there, see if we get New York.
Not all black Republicans, but I see a black MAGA person who is carrying Donald Trump's water, and they know that he's lying. It is the shortest line to the front. Because if you're black and you're whatever, you're just in line with a bunch of other Democrats that are doing the same thing but if you become a black MAGA person, it's like, whoa, let's put this person, let's put him on television.
Oh, okay. So you can't possibly be the black. It's almost like when Joe Biden says...
I'm pretty sure that's New York. Let's take a look here at 880. It's tough with WWL slop. Pretty sure that's New York. Here's a fun one. Let's see if we can get WBZ. Oh, man. I'm on my northeast CAS, pointing towards that direction. I have heard them here. They a lot of times they're pretty loud. But tonight, not so much. Probably Ovidio here, maybe Memphis, one of the two. 1020.
Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn app.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studio.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM.
CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Michael Toscano. When the Supreme Court struck down most of the terror...
Let's check, let's see what WBT's up to these days. They're still stunting. WBT is still stunting. That surprises me, honestly. Well, there's North Carolina for you. Maybe that's their new format. Maybe they're just going to be doing that.
WBT, Charlotte.
No matter where you are, Belmont, Valentine, Lake Norman, Lake Wiley, WBT's loud and clear on 107.9 FM. News,
News, talk, traffic, weather, sports, live and local. 107.9 FM WBT, your city, your station.
Well, there's Charlotte. Here's 1120.
Just contribute
Camo
to
X.
this continued sense of uncertainty.
Let's see if I can bring in KWKH a little bit better. With a little less directionality here. Not great conditions here for KWKH tonight on 11:30. We go to 11:40. Yeah, Mike, yeah. Ditto. Here's 11:50. I don't hear Baton Rouge. $11.60. That is my Eastern Kaz in the front yard. I need to get in the common mode choke done for that one. Who's this on 1170? WSYB. Nice.
Many people ask me, Tiffany, what does ASAP stand for? And honestly, that's what makes me the proudest.
I mean,
ASAP means American strong, American proud.
should we, do we dare? I just told you guys earlier, never say never.
In this beautiful community. And because taking
Point here is try to figure out how in the bloody hell you win at home. Hawks have 10 wins at home this year. Got to put this in perspective. The Nets are 15 and 39 on the way to 15 and 40. The Nets are the only team in the East that has less wins at home than the Hawks. As a matter of fact, the Hawks are fearful. They might end up with the fewest home wins of anybody in the NBA. They're 10 and 16 at home, and they've just been playing poorly at home all season long. And well, you were really hoping that coming off that Philly win last night, that they may get a jump start this. And Miami hadn't played since the All-Star break. They might be a little bit rusty.
I'm interested to see who this might be. I don't. It's not Vermont.
Tonight, I just don't know any way to shoot. There's no way to shoot. When you lose by 31 at home, and it wasn't even that close. I mean, the Hawks just sort of just.
To be VMT, it was a station I stalked for
There was nothing out there that you couldn't turn to. If you were
10 years before I finally got him.
Anybody got anything here? I was almost surprised that he wasn't going to just strip the bench out, midway through the fourth.
1170, Brother Stare. You know who that is.
Because it was so bad.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes.
I'm pretty sure I don't have the WWVA here, though.
Pancakes with bacon and eggs are just
WCGC and WCGC HD1 Atlanta. Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
nothing beats your game day confidence.
Well, that answers that question. That 1380 is Atlanta, what used to be WAOK.
This is our year, you whisper to your bobblehead. So when you buy this season's lucky jersey, you don't leave checkout up.
Let's see if there's still WAOK.
An online checkout offered by banks and credit unions. Rituals intact. Payment handled. Bobblehead still nodding yes. Shop with confidence at your favorite online store. Visit Paze.com. That's PAZE.com. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm assuming that that's music station that we're hearing underneath is Arkansas Rocks, or I guess Z-Rocks is what it's called now. KZTS. I'm assuming that's the classic rock underneath. Ugh. Still shows us to be A-OK on Tim's site. And about Mesa Mike. Both are still showing to be A-OK, so there you go. That's who we got there for Georgia. Let's go 1390. One of my most frustrating frequencies. I seem to be stuck here with Mississippi and Western Tennessee to be TJF and Jackson. That seems to be all I can really get here on 1390. I kind of get stuck in this little delta region that I'm just to my north. Those are the only stations I really ever hear. Now, I did finally one time get Charleston once, WSPO, which was nice. And I got the one in Terrell Hills. Or not Terry Hills, El Campo, KLUP. KULP. That's why I got that confused. KULP in Texas. But other than that, it's been a whole lot of Mississippi and Tennessee here. So 1390 is one of those frequencies that just frustrates the hell out of me. Some graveyard action, that'd be nice. So, if you have a state you want me to try for here to see if we're getting it, let me know in the chat. Which Mississippi station on 1390? Both of them. Actually, all three of them. To be NLA in Indianola, MER Meridian, ROA here in Gulfport, and then to be TJF up in Jackson, Tennessee. Just incessantly, all the time, constantly. Did hear to be HMA in Birmingham once. Or out there in Alabama once. I think it's close to Birmingham. Yeah, Anniston. Did hear them once. The Texas and the Charleston. But mostly it's always NLA, MER, ROA, and TJF. I would love to hear KENN. Love to hear that. If you have a state you want us to shoot for, give us a shout. Let us know. Let's get WSM in here with Tennessee. Can we get KFI this week in California in the logbook? We may have to swap some of our antennas to the north here for this week. That includes our big shortwave central CAS. We may have to flip that sucker to the northwest this week. See how it does. $13.80 WSYB is coming in the best right now for Vermont for Jacob. Oh, Robert, you got me hungry now, man. Chicken is fried chicken, chicken strips, bone-in chicken, regular chicken, you know, like a bucket. That is one of my weaknesses. I also like grilled chicken, too. I do like grilled chicken. New Hampshire, yeah. I need all of them. I need Delaware to cheat, Rhode Island to cheat. I need Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine to cheat. And cheat big. Don't just cheat a little bit. Like, cheat big. Go buy another transmitter that's even stronger than yours and cheat. Because that would finish me out on the East Coast. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, and Delaware will now finish me out. And then Oregon and Idaho on the West Coast would finish me out there. And then that's that. That's got to be Arkansas. Really digging this microphone, the new SM7B that I got. This is nice. This is one I had when I was in radio. When I first got started, this was my microphone that I use, the SM7B. So I missed talking into it, and I got a new interface, because the old audio interface I had, you guys would hear sometimes on the stream, it would go like all robotic sounding, and like the audio would flake out. It was constantly doing that, like all the time. I couldn't really rely on it. It was constantly cutting in and out and doing different stuff. I had to Focusrite. So I replaced that with a universal audio interface. It has built-in compression and processing, and man, it sounds so good. The old interface, the knobs were getting real sticky, like they were not really working very well. There's A-OK. Let's look for some more states here. Obviously, we got Illinois. The 50 kilowatts are going to be crucial this week, right?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom will still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ohio. There's another Ohio. Oh, that's Texas. Yeah, that's Texas there on 1530. No sign of CKY. On that antenna, let's go look at the Northeast, though. Nope. That'd be TAM. That's got to be. Kentucky. Oops. There's HAS. But I'll do you a fun one. Non-HAS. To be GTK, Louisville. Every time I think I have a new station on 970, it's these guys. without fail, every time. We got Arkansas in there. We got Texas in there. I'll give you another Texas. I'll do an easy one.
High school students were recently suspended for 3 days for leaving Woodbridge High School without permission during an unsanctioned walkout. School officials said that the students were not suspended because they were involved in the protest, but rather because they violated the school district's code of behavior. In the wake of the walkout, school administrators have sent letters to parents informing them that students who leave campus without permission face discipline. More walkouts were scheduled in the Prince William County District on Friday. That would be today. You don't have the right to get up and leave. You don't have the right to get up and say, I'm going to exercise my First Amendment right. You don't. By the way, there really is no First Amendment right to protest. It's to peaceably assemble. And there's another one to bring redress. But it doesn't say protest anywhere. But the word peaceable or peaceably is in there. And people always seem to forget that. So yelling, screaming, shutting down.
Minnesota? Not happening. That's one that's going to be interesting this week to see if I can squeeze in a Minnesota station. This is where I would try WCCO on 830, but that's my local W or KGLA in Norco. Now, can I get him on 1500? That's 1500. Now, maybe if I put my antennas to the north, like the northwest antenna or the Big Kaz northwest, maybe. Here's the vertical. I'll hear DC here before I hear KSTP. Which would be nice to have DC in there, because DC counts too as a state, by the way. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
And Mr. Rob Fresh in our Smoothie King Center studios. This is Todd Graffinini once again. The final score.
Oh, hold on.
Milwaukee Bucks 139. The New Orleans Pelicans 118.
We cannot catch a break.
This
We
radio
cannot catch a
presentation
break.
of the New Orleans Pelicans, presented by Smoothie King, was brought to you in part.
What was I
by
just checking?
Morris
If
you know,
oh,
you
850.
know. Hancock.
KOA. They're in there. And they have a religious station, which I believe is Alabama. $11.60. You know what I'm looking for here. KSL. They might be in there. I might hear them. Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely throw the antennas northwest and north this week, for sure. So plan for a Latin American free-for-all. Mom, just a heads up. If that happens, if I have all the antennas pointing north and Latin America starts booming in because of a solar storm, you may hear me in the backyard one night making a change. It's me. Even if it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, it'll be me. I'm taking care of it. Yeah, I'm not hearing them right now. Would love to hear KTNN this week. Ooh, do we have them? Hold on. I think we might have KTNN in there right now, actually. Hold up. Unless this is someone else.
Annual tuition reimbursement, paid parental leave, and other City of Phoenix benefits. Find more.
KTNN, your Navajo Nation Sports Connection. Join us this of Winter Rock High School.
Somebody's playing the Doors. Light My Fire on 660.
KTNN play-by-play coverage.
Boy, when you find one of those Kiwis that has just no AM band at all, that's disheartening.
Navajo Nation Shopping Center.
Yeah. Yeah, those Arizona Kiwis are not great. For AMDX, at least.
Take on them.
Can I... That station playing the Doors was kind of weak. Yeah, I don't think that's them. Unless they ended that before maybe I caught the end of the song or something. So anyway, so that's what we're looking for this week, guys. We're looking for states. We're looking for sorry about that. We're looking for as many states as we possibly can get. You're looking for at least one station in every state, but if you can get two, even better. You'll get more points for it for the scoreboard. But really the point here this week is get as many states as you possibly can, especially if it's a state that you're a little lacking in. If you find you're looking at your logbook, you're like, why haven't I heard more stations from Nebraska? Maybe you want to target Nebraska. Maybe you want to target Minnesota, like I will be doing a bit, in addition to the ones that I want that are new for me. So whatever the case may be, definitely spend some time on the dials this week looking here domestically, because we don't do that. We do a lot of international stuff here with our challenges, looking out 1,000+ miles, looking out to other countries and stuff like that. But we need to make sure we focus on our domestic stuff as well to help us keep those domestic chops up to snuff. So looking domestically only this week, no international, no Canadian, no Mexico, just U.S., just looking for as many states as you can possibly get. Knock them out as easy as you can with those big 50 kilowatts, and then fill in the rest of the gaps wherever you can. And there you go. All right. It's been a good week back, my friends. We got a new one in the log tonight, and it was a big one. It was New Jersey. It was a new state. That puts me now. I forgot to look at this earlier when I was pulling up my logbook just to kind of see where I'm at, because I forget the number. I don't have it memorized because I got my logbook to show me. We are sitting right now as far as U.S. states at 41, so that puts us at 42, including D.C. 42 U.S. states on AM. 1,124 stations logged once we get this one in the logbook. Very happy about that. 42 states is a good feeling. I remember being stuck in the 30s for years and years and years. So being now in the 40s is really nice. So hopefully we can get some of those last ones we have left maybe this week as part of the U.S. State Challenge. So dxchallenges.com, that's where you want to go to make sure you are registered, submit your loggings on the challenge page. We got the page up and running now for you all to do your logs, to submit those in. We'll see you again here next week, my friends. We'll be back on the air once more, and hopefully with some new stuff to share in our own shout-outs and yours. So take care, my friend. Thanks for being here, and thanks for giving us a couple weeks to do the Mardi Gras thing. We appreciated the break, but we're glad to be back. So we'll see you next time, my friends. Take care, 73. Best of DX. Now let's go hit the bands.
Waves that travel far and wide. Feel the magic deep inside. DX Central live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lord will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. Frequencies that cross the sea. Mysteries for you and me. Lloyd's voice cuts through the noise. Feel the thrill, enjoy the joys. Ghostly whispers in the dark. Find a station, hit the mark. Fading in and fading out. Lloyd helps clear the doubts. Stories from the distant land. Caught by waves that we command. From our homes we hear the call. DX Central live for all. DX Central live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves. All the signals we will crave. DX Central live tonight. Turning dials, feeling right. Lloyd will guide us through the waves.
This is DX Central Live. This is DX Central Live. This is DX Central Live.